Hello there ladies and gentlemen, I am the CHALL and welcome to another match preview. We are back on a Tuesday night as Doncaster Rovers host Harrogate Town in Sky Bet League 2 action. In this video we're going to be looking at the stats going into the game, my predicted lineup and also the score prediction and why for the match. We're back in Tuesday action, let's preview Doncaster Rovers versus Harrogate Town. So first of all, Harrogate Town, managed by Simon Weaver, who is the longest serving manager in the English Football League. Now, they haven't won in 7 games, however, during the 7-game non-winning run, they did pick up 5 draws as well as the 2 defeats. Now, 2 teams included in those 5 draws were Gillingham and Salford. Now, those 2 were big results, as Gillingham obviously are high-flying with the new ownership and the signs they brought in January, and are flying to get away from that relegation scrap. And Salford are in the playoff spots, so they're going to want to be up for it to try and keep in them playoff spots. So points against Gillingham and Salford are good points indeed, as well as the other draws in that 7-game winless run. However, they do want to try and get back to winning ways to keep them from keeping out of that relegation scrap involving Rochdale, Crawley and Hartlepool. So currently in the table, 2 points separate Harrogate from Crawley. Crawley occupying the 2nd relegation spot in the table. However, they've played 2 more games than Crawley, so Harrogate are definitely not going to be playing catch-up in this particular race. Now, they've scored 5 goals in 7 games and conceded 10. So Harrogate are definitely going to want to be up for it to try and keep out of that scrap. Now they've Doncaster Rovers and Danny Schofield. Before the draw with Stockport County, they lost 2 games and are 8 points away from 7th place. However, the inconsistency of the team puts heavy doubt on a playoff push. Most likely, in my opinion, it will be a case of a mid-table finish with a view to pushing forward for promotion next season in League 2. In the last 7 games for Doncaster Rovers, they've scored 5 goals and conceded 4, so they'll definitely want to try and get back to winning ways after taking a well-earned defensive point against a high-flying Stockport County. So then, here is my predicted lineup for Tuesday night's game against Harrogate Town. In goal, of course, Jonathan Mitchell. As per usual, there is no real competition, and after 2 amazing saves, Mitchell will definitely earn his spot. Now, Mitchell is a very interesting story because, of course, he's out of contract in the summer, and there's fans out there that do want him to leave at the end of the season. But my stance on Jonathan Mitchell has always been the same. Short term, he's a good enough League 2 goalkeeper, but long term, I feel like he is a rotational backup goalkeeper to a long-term number 1. But I feel like in the short term, just while we're trying to get out of League 2, I think he's a good enough goalkeeper. Yes, there are things that he does need to work on, his positioning, his distribution, and I feel like Mitchell does need to improve in those areas more consistently. There was definitely quicker distribution in the Stockport County game at times, but I feel like it needs to be happening a lot more often. But as a shot stopper, I think he's good enough, but he does need to improve in other certain areas to give him more of an all-round feel in terms of the type of goalkeeper that Schofield needs going forward. But I think short-term, he is the number 1. Long-term, I see him as the rotational / backup to a long-term younger goalkeeper. But I think that Mitchell has the experience to cover the ground and the position, at least for now. In the back 3, I've gone with Nelson, Anderson and Oluwu, the back 3 that worked wonders against Stockport on the weekend. No reason changing something that's not broken, and we are looking here at a very good looking back 3 for the rest of the season. That would be my starting back 3, and I think with Rochelle Williams not being on the bench, that does raise a few eyebrows to his future at the club. Now, I'm not going to speculate or anything like that, but in my personal opinion, he's only just coming back from injury, so I think that's probably going to be the case as to why he wasn't involved on the bench last weekend. But I feel there's another side to it where I don't think he's the type of defender that suits Schofield's style. I don't think he's the type of defender that suits Schofield's style, so there is that kind of back of my head kind of thought process with it. I'm willing to see what Rochelle Williams can do before the end of the season if he is given an opportunity before the end of the season. So I feel like Nelson, Oluwu and then Anderson in the middle is the back three we should be going with for the rest of the season. However, with defenders like Long, with Younger ruled out for the rest of the season, but maybe gets given a chance next season if he signs a new contract, with Williams out of contract as well. I think there's definitely defenders there that if they improve in training and any of the back three slip up in games, could be there to take their spots. In the wing-back roles, respectively, on the left and right, it is Tommy Rowe and James Brown. James Brown was not too bad against Stockport. Tommy Rowe had his moments as well. And of course, Rowe will be in that left wing-back role probably for the rest of this season. Looks like Maxwell's going to be out for the majority of the rest of this season, maybe even all of it, but it is not looking good for James Maxwell. So Tommy Rowe, I would expect to be in that position for the rest of this season, albeit Rowe doesn't get injured as well. Hopefully not. In the midfield, Charlie Lakin and Harrison Biggins. I think Ben Close coming off the bench for solidarity was kind of something that we needed, and I would go with the same thing again. I think Harrogate's not looking a good team at the minute, so I feel like if you have that energy with the two box-to-boxes with Lakin and Biggins side by side, creating that energy, creating that hard-working philosophy in the midfield battle, I feel like you could wrap up the game quite easily and then bring on Ben Close for that solidarity and that kind of deep-lying playmaking ability to sort of see out the rest of this game. And of course, Stockport County was the first time that Close was dropped under Schofield, so I feel like Lakin and Biggins holding that midfield quite well at the minute, and then you bring Close on for that solidarity towards the end. In the attacking midfield position, I've gone with Kyle Hurst because, of course, I'm going with two strikers, and I'll keep going with two strikers until Schofield decides to go with two strikers, and I'm going to keep going with it. Hurst for me in that attacking midfield, again, no contest. I think Molyneux looked lost in that Stockport game, in my opinion. I feel like Hurst is a definitely more attack-minded, skillful player, and I think him on that attacking midfield and that number 10 role will definitely work wonders for us. Up front, I've gone with Kieran Agard and George Miller. Now, the reason why I've dropped Lavery is because I don't feel like... half of it was because he wasn't getting much service, but half of it was, yes, he had a dragging shot just going into the keeper's hands, but not really many efforts after that, not really clear-cut chances after that. So I would drop Laver onto the bench. I would give him that solidarity towards the end of the game, but I would start with Kieran Agard. He's just come back from fitness, he's just come back from minor illness. Giving Lavery a chance, we've given Miller a chance. Now I want to see Agard given another opportunity. I want to see Agard under Schofield, see what he can do with his skills, with his traits, with his attributes, next to a George Miller who's hard-working, pressing, runs his socks off every game for 90 minutes straight. So a Miller-Agard partnership is something I want to see in this particular match. And it's a great opportunity to do it because Harrogate isn't, in my opinion, the toughest opposition, but I think it's a great opportunity for Agard and Miller to partner together and give themselves a chance to really show what they can do together. And really for Agard as well especially, it's a chance to promote himself to Danny Schofield to say, I want to stay here at Doncaster Rovers, here is why, I will show you. So then the score prediction is the final part of our preview today. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Doncaster Rovers win. I think Harrogate's the perfect time to get our goal scoring back on board. I feel like Harrogate at home is the best time to get our goal scoring back on track. I feel like Miller could get an opportunity to get, one step closer to breaking his season best in senior level. I feel like this is the opportunity to do it. Harrogate are a struggling side. We're not going to take them for granted though, because Harrogate can get a hard-earned point against any team on any given day. They got a hard-earned point. Well, they got a point against Salford. They got a point against Gillingham. They've got a couple of other draws as well. So they got 5 draws in the last 7 games, and they lost the other 2. So they haven't won in a while, but they have got draws, and that one extra point could be the difference to them staying up or going down. So I feel like Harrogate cannot be taken for granted at all. We've got to treat them with respect, and for me personally, it's going to be one of those where we've got to grind out when needed to. I don't think we're going to grind out the entire result, but I think there are times in that game where we're going to have to grind things out. We are going to have to weather the storm at times, and with how good our defence was against Stockport, yes, attack-wise Stockport was very, very poor, but defensively it was solid. It was absolutely solid. And, I think Daniel Nice said it on Twitter, you're going to have games like that. There are going to be games where, we're not going to be great going forward because we still need to be improving in that. We still need to develop that attacking mindset. But defensively, we are going to have to grind stuff out. And defensively, we are looking more solid under Schofield. So I feel like, we take away the Mansfield result, obviously. But I think take away that, we are looking a lot more solid defensively. And we are keeping teams at bay from scoring 3, 4, 5 like they were last season. So I feel like under Schofield we are improving defensively, and then the next stage will be attacking that final third and that clinicalness and that finishing, improving that, focusing on that, pinpointing on that. What do we need? Who do we need to move out in the summer in the attack to make it better? Who do we need to flip around? How do we develop players? Is there wingers that we need to develop into attacking midfielders? Is there attacking midfielders that we need to develop more wide? Is there strikers that we need to develop as second strikers or centre forwards or attacking midfielders as they're better on hold-up play than finishing? So it's all about that development and process that discussing the owners event. It's all about development and process. And it's going to be one of those where it's going to be interesting to see what happens on the night. But I'm going to go with a 2-1 Harrogate. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Doncaster Rovers win. I think that'll be the day we'll start scoring again. I've got not 100% confidence, but I do have some confidence we will get back to winning ways. But it is going to be a tough one. I'm not expecting this to be a complete walkover at all. I'm expecting Harrogate to give us a good game at times. There will be spells in that game that Harrogate will come forward and will show what they can do. But I feel like overall we'll hopefully get the job done, and we will just see this through into the Wimbledon game on the weekend. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. Make sure you do like, comment, subscribe. And for now, I'm the CHALL. Stay tuned for the Harrogate Town match report on the Tuesday night or the Wednesday. And I will see you all then. Ta-ra for now.